Nancy from the Tasting Room at Westport Whiskey and Wine with this week's Flight of the Week. We have a Diageo flight this week for y'all, and we're going to start with Bulleit 10-year. So this is the typical Bulleit mash bill, 68% corn, 28% rye, 4% malted barley. This is a really lovely bourbon. I think it's really in that sweet spot of bourbon where you get a lot of those vanilla, maple, honey notes, and it's just solid for the price point. Second, we have Bulleit Rye. This is your typical 95% rye, 5% malted barley rye mash bill that you get out of MGP. It is going to be 90 proof, and it is really a favorite of bartenders. That's kind of how it got on the scene. They were preferring to use Bulleit Rye in cocktails like Old Fashions and Manhattans. So this is really, really nice. It has a palate more typical of a rye, so you're going to get a lot of those spice, peppery notes, medicinal, sometimes grassy and earthy notes too. Third, we have IW Harper 15-year. Obviously a gorgeous bottle, hard to miss on the shelf, but this was started by Isaac Wolf Bernheim, who came over and started this, was the Bernheim Brothers Distillery. So this was actually a kind of an iconic bourbon starting in the 1950s. And you'd see it on all the cruise ships, blockbuster films, and a bunch of marketing, magazines, things like that. It was just a signature household bourbon and an international sensation, really. This was huge overseas, especially, and you could actually only get it there for quite some time. It was about 30 years. And then it finally came back to the U.S. in 2015 and has been here since. And last we have Bulleit & Bow, which honors Stitzel-Weller Distillery here in Louisville. They use the Solera mingling process, so it's trying to preserve the old whiskeys from Stitzel-Weller, some of that last juice that was produced before it closed in 1992, and mingling that with other fine whiskeys that are aged and bottled on Stitzel-Weller's property too. So it's really, really neat profile. It has the key here, which they're all numbered 1 through 5. Kind of a collectible thing that they're doing, which is really neat, but a really, really fine whiskey. So you can have all these for just $23 and come into the store, go on the app, website, come get your flight.